I should just get into it. Right, we're down here because it's a trial, and it's a 2-part trial. We'll be fine. October 14th, 9:41 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 4.
Hey, Nick.
What is it this time?
You won't believe how many people are here for the trial.
Well, it is a murder case.
What are you talking about? They're here for the trial next door.
Next door?
Why don't you know this, Nick? They're having Detective Atme's trial today.
Detective Atme?
They say they're going to try him as Mask the Mask.
Already? That was fast. I arrived for being second banana. Ooh, banana. So, Captain, how was the new Donkey Kong game?
Boy, I'd love to see Mask the Mask's trial.
I'm gonna assume this is Ron. I know. Oh, wait, or is it... I know. I don't know, actually, I don't know. A mysterious red voice says, I know. By the way, where's Pearls?
Oh, she went back home. She said she can't neglect her training anymore.
Okay, I have to assume this is Ron. I know you don't like me. Pearls has really gone into her training lately, huh?
Yeah, ever since that incident last year.
Please, don't ignore me.
Oh, Mr. Delight, good morning.
No one likes me. No one would notice me, even if I killed someone.
Come on, don't be silly.
Wait a sec. You don't mean you're the murderer? It was ADHD manifested and distilled into a massive destruction sandbox. Well, that sounds fun. No, I'm just a poor thief. No, wait, that's not right. A thief can't really be poor. Now, let's see. According to Mr. Delight, from his second crime on, he was following a bunch of set plans. Plans that someone had been sending to him to help him commit the heists.
Do you really think there's a connection between the thief and the murder, Nick?
Duh. I mean, it's possible. But today's trial is a race against the clock.
Huh? How come? Let's just take our time like always.
I'm afraid that's not an option.
Question mark?
I feel like part of the time, Phoenix's competency manifests in like quieter ways. Like, for example, the fact that he is actually aware that there is a ticking clock next door, but because it's just a ominous thing to kick off, and then Maya's like, what the hell? And then we just move on. You spend a lot more moments dwelling on his insane stupidity than we do on when he actually just does his job. October 14th, 10 o'clock a.m. District Court, Courtroom number 6. Both now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Are you all ready? Preparation is the last refuge of the weak. Okay, settle down, everyone. Let's begin with your opening statement, Mr. Godot. Ugh. He's got the judge in the palm of his hand, yet again. Ron Delight is simply too young to be sent to war. That's all. I'm afraid I have no idea what that means, Mr. Godot. Ha! Then you need to get out more, Your Honor. Life is a war, but that is exactly why you must be more precise in your wording.
That's all my statement means. You understand now, right?
Okay, where are we at? It's this one? Yeah. The 12th cup of coffee. Yes. Well done. Let me briefly summarize the details of this case. Wow. The judge is taking charge like he knows what's going on for a change. The victim is Kane Bullard, CEO of KB Security. His body was found in a safe at approximately 9 a.m. on the morning of the 13th. However, the time of death was estimated as 1 a.m. of the previous day.
And that's when our little lost kitten dropped the ball. That little lost kitten is, of course, the defendant.
Very well then, Mr. Godot. Please call your first witness.
Oh, interesting. I never drink more than 17 cups of coffee during any given trial, but the first one is always the best.
Mr. Godot, the witness?
Okay then, let's hear what the defendant, Mr. Randy Wright, has to say for himself.
The defendant? Well, Mr. Wright, does the defense have any objections? It may be a bit of a disadvantage having the defendant testify, but...
I remember when Mia was defending me. She allowed me to testify so she could do the cross-examination. She put a lot of trust in me back then. We have no objections, Your Honor. The defense will allow Mr. Delight to testify. Ah, you've got guts, right.
All right then, Mr. Ron Delight, please take the stand.
Oh, I might regret Ron being part of this. You did it, didn't you?
Yes.
What?
No, that's not true.
Well, case closed. I announce Ron Delight is guilty. For a moment there, I thought we'd set the record for the shortest trial ever.
Well, Mr. Delight already looks plenty guilty with that face he's making. Once he opens his big mouth, he'll probably put the last nail in his own coffin. Ah, very well. Now then, can you tell me something? If you did not kill Bullard, why did you go to KBS Security?
Well, that's kind of hard to say. Boy, I wish I could go home.
Now then, let's hear some testimony about what happened.
My visit to KB Security.
That evening, around 1 a.m., I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. I'd been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was.
Oh, that was very short.
Ready for bed and cozy? Time for more French, Chris. Debatably slightly adjacent to maybe a vicinity 3 countries over from France, Chris, maybe.
1 a.m., the exact time the murder took place.
The weak get washed away by the tides of fate. The strong, let's drink it up. Oh, man. There we go. We have another cup of coffee. Which we start at 11. Godot said he wouldn't do more than 17. In the same time as France, better than my French accent. I'm pretty sure that's not the case. But I don't know if I actually remember you doing a French accent. Definitely got at least some Scottish. Ah, well, whatever. Ah, it is bitter today too. Just like my destiny. You haven't, it's that bad. You never know that from the way he's chugging it down.
Mr. Wright, a cross-examination, if you please. My visit to KB Security.
That evening, around 1 a.m., I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security.
1 a.m., huh? You're absolutely sure about that?
Yes, that's what my watch said when I was entering the CEO's office. No. Actually, I'm not really sure. My watch was slow, and my internal clock was also.
1 a.m. That's the exact time the victim, Mr. Bullard, was murdered, correct?
It is too late for a coffee date, that's for sure.
The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there.
It ordered you there?
It was the first time I got a blackmail letter that ordered me to go somewhere.
Does that mean you've gotten other blackmail letters then?
Oh, of course. They'd say things like, steal this or say that.
Why don't you save those for later, Mr. Delight? Please don't say any more. Now, what should I do? Yeah, let's press harder. So what did the blackmail letter in question say?
It said to bring $50,000.
Money is a perfect motive for committing murder.
Oh, but wait. I never intended to pay that money anyway.
Well, is that right? Is it because you were going to murder Ron Bullard? Wait, not Ron, is it? Oh, what was his name? Kane Bullard, duh.
After all, he had nothing to hold over my head. I had nothing to be afraid of.
An important point indeed. Witness, let's have that added to your testimony.
Yes, sir.
Ah, muddy mud skipper in outer space has a better chance of surviving than I do. Why is it a muddy mud skipper?
I had been working for KB
So I know this is a new one they added, but we'll skip to this one.
I had been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was.
It used to be a security chief for KB Security, right?
Yes, that's right.
The security chief? You?
And yet, a year ago, you were fired without notice. Revenge for an old grudge. A perfect motive for murder, wouldn't you say?
This isn't good. Maybe I should change the subject. When I was fired, don't say anything life after being fired. Interesting. Whatever, I think we have a fair bit of health. I can't check it right now, but why he was fired. Mr. Delight, please tell us why you were fired from your job.
Well,
The world is filled with those who have said, I wish I had never asked that.
Okay, I take it back. Defendant, please answer the question.
I needed money.
You needed money?
Well, you see, Tessie loves to spend it. It's kind of her hobby.
Not exactly the best hobby in the world, huh, Nick?
My salary wasn't nearly enough, so I stole data from the company.
Come again?
KB Security has a lot of security info on all sorts of companies. And since I was a security team chief,
You stole some data and sold it.
Mr. Bullard found out and I was fired immediately. What?
Wish I'd never asked that.
I was somehow able to keep it secret and made it seem like I had quit on my own.
What is it, Nick? You don't look so good. Someone who brings harm to their company is fired as punishment. You do well to remember that.
He sure told you. So you admit that you stole data from your company, is that correct?
Yes, I'm sorry.
This is a very important fact. Please add it to your testimony. Oh man. This whole thing just took a big turn for the worse. Crashed and blew up. It's gonna take the jaws of life to rip this case from the clutches of disaster.
He fired me for selling company secrets, but Desi doesn't know about that.
Look at Phoenix Wright isn't pulling out his hair, gripping the sides of his head, crying, and it's not true Phoenix Wright defense. Katie does have a point. Okay.
The blackmail threat didn't scare me. It wasn't going to cause me trouble or anything.
Just what were you being blackmailed about anyway? The blackmail letter said, you don't want your identity revealed, correct?
I'm sure it was referring to the whole mask-to-mask thing.
I am afraid that reason isn't going to hold up anymore. Wow, our first objection is from Godot. Who would have seen that coming? Also, damn man, he's been on that one cup of coffee for freaking ages. What do you mean?
The victim had no proof the defendant was masked a mask. But you were the one who stole company secrets only 1 year earlier.
But that was all over with once I was fired. But it is true that the fact I stole secrets was kept under wraps.
Are the back hair spikes intentional with gel, Phoenix Wright, or were you born that way? Did we ever see Phoenix without the hair spikes? And not in a hat? I mean, most certainly his mom would know. Although I guess if he was born bald, like most babies are, but I don't think so. Hobo Phoenix Wright might be the only case. Yeah, and I think, yeah. Because I'm trying to think of in the 5th case of this, because we have the scene of him in the hospital, but I think he has the hair spikes back by then. I don't think we see him in any of the, like, compromised conditions he might have been in.
Even so, there was no reason for me to pay up now, a whole year later.
Is that really true?
What is it, Nick?
The fact that Ron was stealing company data, I wonder if he would have had a problem if that ever became public knowledge. He also has them as a baby grade schooler, so this is true. But sometimes the babies do have freaking, like sometimes their parents let them have hair products. Why? I don't know. That's a lot of money to blow on your kids. But no. It might be a Yu-Gi-Oh! Protagonist situation. Yes, you would. Mr. Delight, I believe you would have been in considerable trouble if your identity as a company data thief was made public. Well, Mr. Wright, what are you trying to do by bullying your own client?
Men are like colonies of bacteria. The more heat you apply, the faster they grow.
That's exactly right.
Well then, feel free to keep up the heat, my little lawyer amigo.
The little lawyer amigo?
Yes, now come on. Provide some evidence to back up your assertion. Why would Mr. Delight want to keep his data stealing secret from going public?
Okay, that was another thing of coffee. I assume what they wanted us to do is present Desi here, right? Like, I have to assume this might be it. Okay, it scared me a second there, because the music didn't go away right away. Little lawyer amigo has the same energy as little pug champ.
Well then, how about that, my little Pogchamp?
Mr. Delight, what you said just now doesn't match what you told me yesterday.
Huh? What doesn't?
I think you must have been scared. Very scared. Of having a certain person find out your secret. A certain person? Miss Desiree Delight, the defendant's wife.
Uh, but, but listen to me. My Desi, she is...
Looks like if I just sit back... Oh, dumb man, read it, Chris. It looks like if I just sit back and relax, the fun will end before it truly begins. Godot. Yes, we know. It was all your wife's fault. What do you mean? Mr. Delight stole company data to pay for his wife's spending habit, for which he was fired. Unable to face his own wife, someone used his dirty little secret to blackmail him. And that is how this murder came about. Oh. No. Everything is falling neatly into place for him.
Don't talk about my Desi like that, or you'll be sorry.
Please, Ron, can you not make this harder for me? Well, it seems that we've learned a great deal of things here, so far. What do you think, Nick? I didn't think it was possible to get so thoroughly whipped in just 20 minutes. And I faced Francisca in the courtroom. Clearly, that was sufficient motive for murder. He stole data for his wife, and he killed to protect his secret. A family man who cared just a little too much. The motive is clear. Let's move on. Ugh. What happened at the crime scene at 1 in the morning, Mr. Delight? Come now, tell us. We're all ears. At the CEO's office.
When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. Suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. When I came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there, dead.
I see. Suddenly hit on the forehead, huh? I believe the detective from yesterday provided similar testimony. He said that Mask struck him on the head from behind.
Of course, since that may turn out to be the culprit himself, that was all a lie. Ah, no one's going to believe a pathetic lie like that.
What are you saying? I really was attacked.
We'll find out if what you said is true or not during the cross-examination.
Got that, Mr. Wright? Don't go easy just because he's your client. If I see any sign that you are, I'll treat you to another cup of my special blend. God damn, this was such a mistake. It's fine. In fairness, I don't think my Spanish accent would be much better. You don't need to worry about that, Mr. Godot. I have faith in Ron. I know he didn't do it. Okay, Phoenix. But it's important to know the difference between you know they didn't do it, and you know that they won't be close enough to the crime that they will constantly incriminate themselves to the point where they get convicted before you can save them. The CEO's office.
When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there.
Who was this suspicious shadow?
If there were 1,000 of me, and if even one knew, I'd tell you, trust me.
His dodging all of our questions is not helping us win his case. Okay. And how was the victim, Mr. Bullard, at that time?
What do you mean by how was he?
Was he already dead? Was he still alive? Maybe he was the one who hit you in the first place.
That's a good question. What do you think, Mr. Wright?
Forget it.
Suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed.
Your forehead?
Yes, I was hit on the forehead as soon as I entered the room. It was an amazingly fast and powerful attack.
Do you remember anything about who hit you?
Well, like I said, it was a fast and powerful hit, so I think I was a little dazed for a while.
I don't think Mr. Delight even grasped what you were asking.
Yeah, I'd like to show him a fast and powerful attack myself. Maybe that would knock some sense back into him. God damn, Phoenix, why are you so aggressive? Who knew Trials and Tribulations was Phoenix's jock game?
If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed.
That? Could you please clarify what you were referring to?
Why, my mask-to-mask costume, of course.
Wait just a moment. Mask to mask.
Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? Just to be on the safe side, I dressed as Mask-to-Mask. And then I descended upon the office of the CEO of KB Security.
What?
Nick, did you know about this? He never told me this.
I don't recall him ever mentioning it to me either.
Even I didn't know that.
I love when one of the witnesses says something and you just see everyone is taking psychic damage.
It seems our little friend really loves to keep secrets.
I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. Wait, that's not right. You know how sometimes things just slip your...
Ah. My sixth cup of coffee is staring up at me coldly.
See? I knew we were going to encounter this problem. He's gone 4 cups of coffee. I've been counting them. So either there are times when his coffee's gone and he gets another one, or we're supposed to think he's got him off screen, or he's consuming coffee off screen and we don't see when it's focusing on either the witness stand or Phoenix's side. Or Godot can't count. He lies. Honestly, that's in character. That he lies or that he can't count.
Ah, my sixth cup of coffee is staring up at me coldly.
Yes.
At any rate, we can't ignore this new piece of information. Witness, please correct your testimony.
That he lies, but maybe...
I'd have been killed if I hadn't been wearing my mask-to-mask costume. When I came to, Mr. Bloyd was lying there dead.
When you came to?
Yes, I was passed out in the corner of the room.
Do you know when your assailant made their escape? And to where?
I'm afraid I don't really remember.
Huh?
Once they hit me, I lost all track of what was going on.
He's also hopped up on 4 cups of coffee, so... Hey, he took 11 that first trial, so... Well, technically it was like 10. Because the other one he wasted on throwing on Phoenix, but...
Once they hit me, I lost all track of what was going on, probably because of the blunt force trauma to my head. I think that's when they made their escape.
Ah, that's certainly a convenient story for you, isn't it?
It certainly is, isn't it, Mr. Wright? It almost sounds practiced.
I don't know why you're telling me.
We heard this from Mr. Delight yesterday, didn't we?
There's not much in his testimony either.
I bet you he's still hiding something.
I wouldn't be surprised. We'll just have to draw it out of him.
I just hope he doesn't make things any more complicated.
He's an ace attorney lawyer. His IQ is simultaneously 2 and 2,000. Isn't that the truth?
I'd have been killed if I hadn't been wearing my mask-to-mask costume.
Why were you dressed up as Mask the Mask?
Why? Because I masked the mask, of course.
What are you talking about? Mask the Mask's trial is being held next door.
Ah, yes, I guess so. Anyway, at that time, I thought I was being blackmailed over the Mask issue. So I thought I should go as him, just to be safe.
Oh boy.
Let me tell you, it's a real pain to move around with that cape. That's why it took a lot longer than I expected.
Took a lot longer? What is he talking about? Press harder. What do you mean by took a lot longer?
Oh, opening the safe, of course. My cape got caught on the safe door, you see. This all happened when I was hiding Mr. Bullard's body.
Godot, just throw the cup of coffee at my head already.
What was that? Back up a second.
Yes?
You were the one that hid the body in the safe?
Well, yeah.
Inconceivable. Why? Why? What reason could you have? What were you thinking?
A question? When does someone toss their dirty shorts in the washing machine?
Oh, what?
The answer is simple. When they take them off.
As usual, I have no idea what you're saying.
Do you mean that Mr. Delight hid the body because he's the murderer? Ah, so you're not as stupid as you look. His metaphor this time was really obscure.
Mr. Wright, you don't mean that you knew about this whole safe business, do you?
Well... yes?
Why am I the only one not in the loop here? Witness, make sure you add this to the testimony.
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh. Looks like a Stormfront is moving in over the fair-weather judge.
I panicked and hid the body in the safe. It took about 10 minutes.
Why did you hide the body in the safe anyway?
Well, because it wouldn't fit in a drawer.
That's not exactly what I meant.
When I saw the corpse, I kind of lost it. I thought, if they find his corpse, they'll think I did it.
Ah, I think you had a simpler reason than that. It's because you killed him. That's why you spent 10 minutes hiding the body?
That certainly makes more sense.
Ugh. Hold on. 10 minutes. What is it, Nick? I just had a thought. Under those circumstances, would you normally try to hide the body? And spend 10 whole minutes to do it? Under those circumstances? What circumstances? Oh! Hey, Nick! If you think his behavior was so strange, why don't you present some evidence that would show just what those circumstances were? That's it. Take a look at the court record and present some evidence. We heard this from Mr. Delight yesterday, didn't we? Oh yeah, that's the same thing. Okay. And he's about to say it took about 10 minutes. Okay. So here's the question. Do they want me to present the CEO office buzzer? Or do you want me to present the buzzer record? It must be the buzzer record, right? That's gotta be what they want me to do here. I'm gonna go for it. Okay. That one was pretty straightforward. Your Honor, could you please take a look at this record?
And what might this be?
The record for the emergency buzzer that connects the CEO's office to security. If the button in the office is pressed, the security team is supposed to come running. And according to this record, the buzzer was pushed once, at 1:02 a.m. As long as they accept 2 pieces of evidence. This is true. We saw that just on day 1. Because I'm pretty sure we saw that there was, like... You can usually tell when they accept 2 pieces of evidence, too, because, like... They'll show you pictures of the evidence you could have suggested. According to this record, the buzzer was pushed once at 1... I read that. What? If Mr. Rondelay truly was the murderer, he would have ran as soon as that buzzer sounded. After all, a security guard would have been heading his way. Ah, let's remember who we're dealing with here. He probably had no idea there were security personnel in the building. Up until 1 year ago, my client was working as a chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about them. But, as it turns out, the guard never came. That was nothing more than a coincidence. The fact that the guard was a pathetic loser who had just gotten punched in the face by his ex's new boyfriend and wasn't anywhere in the vicinity was not something Mr. Delight could have known. Fuck Phoenix. Okay, you know what? Phoenix has been a little bit more of an aggressive jerk than I'm used to. I 100% believe he would use the excuse to throw Larry under the bus, though. Ah, again, remember who we're dealing with here. This is why he's a fighting game character now. It's a sure bet that Mr. Delight didn't even notice the buzzer going off. That's a lot of objections here, Jesus. This buzzer is extremely loud. There is no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been conscious, that is.
Conscious? What do you mean by that?
Ugh. Alright, we're up to 16 now. Fine, let's hear your theory. Recall the defendant's testimony. Moni entered the victim's office. Someone attacked him. Mr. Delight said he felt dazed. I'm willing to wager that he was knocked unconscious for at least a few minutes.
Unconscious? So he fainted?
That's why Mr. Delight didn't know that the buzzer had sounded. That's why. He thought he had time to hide the body. So, what are you trying to say? Mr. Delight was knocked out, and the buzzer went off soon afterwards. Now, unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, it can only mean that there was another person in that room. That's right. Whoever it was, they knocked out Rondelay and then pressed the buzzer.
Order in the court. Mr. Wright, this is...
This is preposterous. It was this kid. Ron Delight is the one who killed Ken Boudard. Then who pressed the buzzer? It was the victim, of course. He pressed the buzzer when the defendant attacked him. He didn't die right away. He must have held on long enough to push that button. Okay.
So Kane Bullard sounded the buzzer himself. What is your opinion on this, Mr. Wright?
What tells us that can't be the case? Cerebral hemorrhaging from blunt trauma to the head. That doesn't really tell us that, does it? No fingerprints. Got it. I need to prove that the real criminal was there at the scene. But how? Can I prove that it wasn't Kane Bullard who sounded the buzzer? Can we see... I mean, he probably doesn't wear gloves, right? I don't think we ever got to see his body. I feel like we can prove it. Because if he hit it, why would he have hit it without that? The defense's opinion is this, Your Honor. This piece of evidence proves that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer. Yeah. I believe this is the piece of incontrovertible evidence you were looking for.
The emergency buzzer? Is there some kind of clue on it?
Absolutely not. Come on now. At least give some thought to what you say before opening your mouth. Okay. See, now this is theoretically his 6th cup of coffee. The fact that there are absolutely no clues is itself the clue.
That everyone was clueless.
No, Judge. Not now. Always you are the one who's clueless. This button has no fingerprints on it. If Mr. Bullet had really pressed it himself, naturally, he would have left his fingerprints behind. Oh, Ron Delight obviously wiped them off. Why would he? A guard could have come in at any moment. He touched that button. I know he did. The defendant, Mr. Delight, was dressed as Mask the Mask. And Mask the Mask always wears gloves. What reason could he possibly have had to wipe the button free of fingerprints? Damn, Phoenix is on a roll with this.
Border, border, border.
Ah, it would seem I've been forced to eat crow. I wonder what blend number crow-flavored coffee is.
However, if the real killer was there at the scene, why would that person press the emergency buzzer? Shouldn't they have run away without putting themselves in extra danger? What's with this awkward silence all of a sudden?
Ah, it looks like you're fresh out of parlor tricks. They're on to you, Nick. Just give me a minute to collect my thoughts. The real culprit killed Mr. Bullet at around 1 a.m. Big's actually kind of competent in this game compared to previous. I mean, I guess in the first game, he's purely a rookie. And in the second game, he has had trauma. And Mr. Delight just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place, right? The killer clobbered Mr. Delight and then sounded the buzzer. Even though security was supposed to respond right away if the buzzer was pressed. Security was supposed to respond.
Time's up, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you have to say.
Very well then. Oh, you've got some guts. I like that in an opponent.
Why did the real killer sound the emergency buzzer?
He's also just reliving getting bonked on the head. Also, hey Dill. Find out what it did. They didn't mean to. They called the security guard. It's gotta be to call the security guard, right? Yeah. The killer knew that if they pressed that button, a guard would come running. And that was exactly what they wanted.
You mean to say the killer called the guard on purpose?
Yes. Although as it turned out, the useless piece of shit guard never showed up. Because he was getting his clock cleaned at the time.
Ah, what a touching story. You're saying the killer had a change of heart and called the guard to turn himself in?
No, I'm not. When that buzzer sounded, there were 3 people in that office. The victim, Kane Bullard, who was already dead. The defendant, Ron Delight, who was out cold. And the third person, the real killer.
Hypothetically, yes.
Now then, in this situation, if the real killer made an escape, what would happen? The only ones left in the room would be the victim and Ron Delight.
And if any security guards came running in at that time, they would think that I was the murderer.
Yes, that was precisely the real killer's objective. To frame Ron Delight for the murder.
Border.
Ah, it would seem I've been made to eat my words once again.
Oh man, goddamn, do every time. Also, you gotta slow down, man. You're on 8 cups of coffee, and this is just part 1 of this trial.
Actually, you've been made to do a spit take with a cup of coffee.
Mr. Wright, who was it? Who was it that tried to frame me? Wait a second. I'm the one and only Mask the Mask, so...
Nick, you mean the real killer is?
Willing to drag that person in here right now.
But, who is it?
Maya. My god. There's only one other character it could reasonably be. I don't have any solid proof yet, but think about it. The killer knew Mr. Delight's identity, and they also knew that he had been called to KB security that night. So, the killer used him to execute a well-crafted plan to murder King Bullard. It's Larry. Oh, I wish.
Now then, let's hear your accusation, Mr. Wright. Who was it that framed Mr. Ron Delight for the murder of Kane Bullard?
I wonder if it's the only other freaking person in this goddamn case. Detective Luke Atme. He's the only one who could have done it. It's Detective Luke Atme?
Wait, Mask the Mask did it?
Your Honor, the person being tried in the court next to us is not Mask the Mask at all. But he was so trustworthy. It was Winston Payne all along, Earth. If only. He is, in actuality, the true murderer of King Bullard.
Border. Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Theft and murder. Which is the more serious crime?
They're not even close. Murder is the more serious crime, of course. It's a capital crime subject to a capital punishment. We murder them bitches who commit murder.
Please remember the trial from yesterday, if you would. When Luke Atme confessed, there was a huge commotion in the courtroom. Of course, a famous detective was unmasked as, well, as Mask the Mask. Instead of being convicted of murder, he was found guilty of grand larceny. That was his true objective all along.
To be found guilty.
Mask the Mask had the perfect alibi for when the murder took place. He was stealing the urn at Lordly Taylor. In other words, being found guilty as Mask the Mask was Luke Atme's airtight, watertight, and unassailable alibi.
A guilty verdict? As an alibi?
You know, it's almost time.
For what?
For Luke Atme's verdict. It was a pretty simple trial after all. If we're going to stop this trial and stall that one, we need to do it now. Of course. That's assuming you have proof that the detective was the one who committed the murder.
Mr. Luke Atmos's trial has indeed attracted the attention of the entire country. If we were to intrude and fail to provide adequate proof of his true crime, Mr. Delight would be left with no grounds for appeal.
Am I really sure about this? Ah, that's only good when your life's the ante.
Mr. Wright, I believe in you.
Mr. Delight.
So, please, I'm begging you.
Thanks, but my decision will determine the rest of your life. Can I really risk your life like this? Phoenix, you don't have any fucking thing else you can do. What was that? Don't stray, Phoenix. For your client, take the path of trust. I don't believe Payne is even cool enough to be one sign Godot his cups of coffee. He's cool enough to be Master Mask. Good point there, Dill. That voice sounds like Mia. Your Honor, the defense requests an immediate recess. Ah, so that's your answer, huh?
Very well. I've decided as well. This court will now take a 20-minute recess. Mr. Wright, when we return, please summon Mr. Luke Atmos to the stand.
Yes, Your Honor. October 14th, 11:58 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 5. Godot drank 8 cups of coffee, or at least 7. Well, he did spit takes for what, 2 of those? So actually, I think we only confirmed he basically drank 5. Do you think the judge goes out and plays in the playground during court recesses? I don't think they have a... Well... Do we see by the courtroom? No, I'm thinking of the police station. The police station comes up in another game. I don't know if we know if there's a playground close to the courtroom. Actually, we do know that the judge oftentimes actually has to go to the bathroom because he doesn't have the strongest bladder in his old age. October 14th, 11:58 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 5.
Well, Sir Detective Atme.
Huh. I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly.
Oh no, Sir Detective Atme. You were the one who...
Oh, what do I... Brown-haired judge. Let me just do the exact same voice, but can I change it a little bit?
Well, that's enough. This court says no reason to further prolong this trial.
I mean, it's just gonna be Grossberg at this point, whatever.
This court finds the defendant Luke Atmos.
Wait. Don't hand down your verdict yet, please. Oh, well, Sir Lawyer, welcome to my courtroom. Oh, God, I can't. No, I'm not doing it.
Well, who's this hoser, eh?
I did not remember that. Oh, right. Yes. My name is Phoenix Wright, attorney at law. And I wish to file an accusation against this man. Look at me. No, please do.
Accusation? You accuse Mask the Mask?
That man is not Mask the Mask. He's just a ruthless murderer.
What?
Oh, someone's a bit nervous. Man, they really were like, let's just put Hoser in here to just... I think we see this judge one more time, maybe? You don't see him often. All right. Okay, that was actually pretty quick. This is, I guess we'll take this small break. I think I like a lot of the standalone cases. This one really does feel like it treads water for a little bit during that first day.
But I do think once it all comes together and it's like you have the grand thing where like this entire thing is just an elaborate alibi, that's pretty solid. October 14th, 12:14 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 4.
My sis?
I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice.
So then, she's still alive. Inside your heart.
Nicky boy.
Oh, Mr. Light.
Is it true that Detective is the real killer?
To be honest, we don't have any definite proof. He's the only one who could have done it.
But wasn't he at Lordly Taylor that night?
Is Canada also combined with another country? This is a good question. Is it... I mean, if it's Japanifornia, it would have to be for Canada? Canada? Canada and Russia combined, basically. Oh, China? Canada? That could be the case too, actually.
Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Atme want to kill Kane Bullard?
Oops, it's almost time. Better get back to the courtroom. I need to find some solid proof. And it's gotta happen sooner rather than later. October 14th, 12:21 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 6.
Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Luke Atme. Please take the stand.
Go to the south. Or... No, Corico, because it's hard because you feel like it mixes the Korea with the Mexico, but yeah. Corico to the south. We've expanded the world pretty much. Actually, considering that we've seen Godot use Amigo, he must be from Corico then.
Mr. Luke Atme, please take the stand.
Well, well, how do you do, Sir Lawyer? I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly. I couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet, not when it would have given you your perfect alibi. An alibi by the name of Mask the Mask. I'm sorry, I'm afraid even the great Luke Atme has no idea what you mean. God, actually, Korean and Mexican cuisine sounds like it'd be crazy good. It probably would be. Of course, I have been in the next courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm afraid there's no way I could know what's been going on in here.
You've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Mask the Mask.
Indeed, it's truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example. So you continue to insist that you are, in fact, Mask the Mask? Of course.
Very well then, Luke Atme. Let us begin with this simple question.
There's a fusion cuisine place in Ohio. That's it. Korea? Oh, that's good. Oh, that's really good.
On October 12th at 1 a.m., Kane Bullard was murdered. Where were you at that time?
One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. Good pun, 9 out of 10 would visit. But don't worry, I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge.
Thanks.
Alright, that's up to 20. Alright, Mr. Altme, the Knight of the Murder. Speak. We're all ears. As you wish, Sir Prosecutor. The alibi. I was stealing the Ernest Mask the Mask, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. The time at which the camera captured Mask the Mask was the same time as the murder. Apparently it's a slowly growing food trend that I say good. It is good. Canada's cuisine probably would not mesh as well with China. No, I believe. Spicy Szechuan poutine? Oh, God. Okay. That was a mistake. I take it back.
It seems the main point of discussion will be the photo of this crime scene.
Oh, does that already exist? Everything else up until now is all part of his plan. There has to be a secret to this picture as well. Even the great Mask the Mask cannot be in two places at once. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I have a verdict to receive. Cannibal poutine, all flavors. Ah. Unfortunately, Mr. Atme, you still have to do your cross-examination. A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool. Francisca, he's stealing your thing. Suddenly a whip mark appears on screen. I think he's trying to say that you're full of it, Nick. The only thing that's full of it is his alibi. Oh, let's have a sip of my tea. Maple syrup bow. The alibi. I was stealing the Ernest Mask the Mask just as I announced I would. So this photograph is the proof, correct? Indeed it is. And the man in the photo is certainly wearing a mask. That is why I am called Mask the Mask. But conveniently, that also means that there is no way to tell who this really is.
What do you mean?
Ah, are you saying that this is not, in fact, look at me? That was an objection. That it could be an accomplice dressed up as Mask the Mask to create an alibi. Oh, what an interesting idea. Mabo poutine. Are you saying that I, Lone Wolf Luke, had an accomplice? And the accomplice, give it up. I think give it up for now? Is this photo... Wait a second. No, I don't think so. At least not right now anyways. Let's do the rest anyways. If Luke Atme was at KB Security during the murder, then the Mask in this picture has to be a fake. Then there really was an accomplice. But right now, I have no idea who it was. I don't have any idea right now either. Baseless objections are just what that guy wants. There's gotta be another way. I'm going to find it. Bow knock. Oh no. Completely unrelated to this game, but we have created a cursed subject. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point? Crab dinner, but rice. No. Crab dinner, but rice. I think Captain's won that. Oh, man. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point.
That's right. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken.
You sent the calling card to Lord Lee Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out the card after you began your security watch, right?
Indeed, there was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was the perfect opportunity to steal my latest target.
I see. You truly are evil, aren't you?
Yes, evil is what I am.
Hey, Nick. Isn't there something odd about this? Detective Atney was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lord Lee Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona.
You know, that's true. It's kind of odd.
A photograph contains no words. In this case, one turned out to be my witness.
There is a Wikipedia article on Chinese Canadian fusion cuisine too, and it's more in depth than Korean Mexican. Oh. So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here, is that correct?
Indeed it is. That is it. The very thing that proves I committed the crime.
The very thing that proves you committed the crime. When you think about it, it's really odd. You say that almost as if you had this picture taken on purpose.
He was simply caught by the very camera that he had set up.
We all have days like that.
Indeed, it turned out that there was no such thing as the perfect crime after all. Life is truly an ironic thing, a sad blue melody.
Looks like I better gather more information for now. He's truly the killer. There's gotta be something phony in that photo. Oh yeah, we've had a good amount of Chinese immigrants ever since they first built the railroad. That's true. I'm sure they'd find a way to create a whole new flavor profile of sweet and sour with maple syrup. That is true.
The time at which the camera captured Mask the Mask was the same time as the murder.
About the camera that took this photograph.
Oh, come now. It's all too clear what you're thinking.
Huh?
You think I altered the timestamp on the photograph, don't you? I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Lord Lee Taylor, and on top of that, it was Lord Lee Taylor's staff that printed that picture's data. Unfortunately for the defense, there is no way that... Whatever, the picture could have been altered.
I see.
Looks like I'd better find something else that could be suspicious.
So, this alibi is false?
It has to be. We couldn't have killed Mr. Bullet at KB Security.
But I'm not really spotting anything unusual.
There are two possibilities. Either the mask in the photo is a fake, or the photo itself is. I find Chinese restaurants that have really good burgers. I've never ever seen a Chinese place that has burgers. But I don't think I've ever actually gone to like a proper Chinese place. You know, where it's like actual Chinese food versus the bastardized, Americanized, mixed kind of stuff we have down here. Alright, it's gotta be this second one. You know, nothing gave it, but this is the one thing that and I think this game maybe has the most of them, where sometimes you have to go through an entire second round of pressing. Like, they want you to press on certain comments to do stuff, and you have to go back to other ones. We've seen that, I think, in the first game, too, and maybe in the second one. They're rare, because I think they realize that it's kind of obnoxious to do, but...
I had more than enough time to prepare.
Wow, no.
I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job.
I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point. That's right. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. That is what I'm talking about, like, small town places run by a family. Yeah. I kind of figured that was talking about ones that where they would, like, they would have a solid base to work off of, but that would also be why they'd do other things, too. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. You sent the calling card to Lordly Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out the card after you began your security watch, right? Indeed. There was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was the perfect opportunity to steal my latest target.
I see. You truly are evil, aren't you?
Yes, evil is what I am.
Hey, Nick. Isn't there something odd about this?
Hmm?
Detective Atme was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lordly Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona.
You know, that's true. It's kind of odd. Maybe not the... Is it the first one? So, maybe it's this one, then. So this photograph is the proof, correct? Indeed it is. Are you just going to go through all these again? And the man in the photo is certainly wearing a mask. That is why I'm called Mask the Mask. Conveniently, it also means that there is no way to tell who this really is.
What do you mean?
Oh, I'm gonna count it though. Might be accidentally grinding these out by doing this, but that's fine. Ah, are you saying that this is not in fact look at me? That it could be an accomplice dressed up as Mask the Mask to create an alibi? Oh, what an interesting idea. To this day, I still can't help saying in my head, "Look at this photograph!" every time. Yeah, I don't think we can do that. Had an accomplice. I don't have an accomplice yet, though, right? We know there's something going on with that, and it's been moved. I don't actually remember this case well enough. I assume that actually something has to go on with the golden statue, maybe? Although that makes no sense, though, because how would you hide it? But the accomplice is also Larry. Ah, man, I wish. Oh, I guess actually... No, okay, wait a second. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Broken repair by 2 weeks ago, then replaced in his box, kept out of sight. So knocked over some paint. Right. He just did this on a different day. Because the camera goes off, but the picture is... Okay, so I don't think it's the accomplice then. Maybe? I don't know. I don't think this is it then, actually. Who kept me was at KB security during the murder? The master mask in this picture has to be a fake.
Then there really was an accomplice.
But right now, I have no idea who it was.
I don't have any idea right now either.
These less objections are just what this guy wants. There's gotta be another way. I'm going to find it. Okay, I've pressed these two again. Let's just go press every single one again. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here, is that correct? Indeed it is. That is it. The very thing that proves I committed the crime. The very thing that proves you committed the crime. Surely, even you understand by now? Lordly Taylor provided that camera. There's no way I could have tampered with it. That means I could not have killed Kane Bullard, unless I had an accomplice. Come on. Think long and hard about that night. The basement warehouse, this picture that supposedly captures it. It's gotta be here.
Isn't there something funny about this picture? It's gotta be the paint splotch. What is it about the paint splotch? Also, this is something new, so we had to press the third statement again. So I have no... whatever. Are you implying that this picture is a fake? You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. We took a look around the basement warehouse that night, before the theft took place. And there's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night.
Very well, then let's hear what you have to say. What about this photograph do you find funny?
Is it just this gigantic pink splotch? Because it's the same shape we've seen. But it's gotta be that, because he says something that doesn't look like that, so... The funny part is right here.
Why, this is a blood stain. Ah, blood. Now this case is getting interesting.
Not exactly. The stain is actually pink paint.
Well, just paint. Add peach color to that.
Blood to peaches. The judge sure loves going on his wild tangents. The problem with this photograph is not the paint. The problem is, when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse, turns out that something that should be there is nowhere to be seen.
Well, Mr. Wright, what is supposed to be in this picture instead of the paint stains?
Look at this photograph of a golden statue. The supervisor of the treasure exhibit stated the following. Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime, around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realized that the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stains. That's why I put it where you first saw it. I myself was there the night the theft took place, and saw the statue in that spot. This picture was truly taken on that night, and that statue should have been there. Alright. Oh, you know, I remember something I wanted to mention in the first one. And maybe this will come up more here too. An interesting note about Godot as a prosecutor is he tends to... Because he'll, like, do objections with you too. But he seems a little bit more quick to accept, at least in this trial it seems to be the case, the defense's series of events. Like, Miles and Franziska, both for different reasons, seem to really oppose it a little bit harder than he did. Reason for that, I think. I think this might be... It might be kind of giving us a clue about him. But I might be reading too much into this too, since I have some foreknowledge. One of the few things I remember from doing this in the past. But when I went there after the theft, that statue of the old bag was sitting in the corner.
Perhaps it was somehow pushed there accidentally?
Your Honor, the statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more than an accidental push to move it that distance. Ah, in that case, can you prove it? Can you give us the rhyme and reason as to why that statue was moved that night? Can you do it, Nick? Never mind who moved it. The real question is, why did they move it? Godot has a pretty big chip on his shoulder, but instead of indulgent, he often tries to do his actual job.
Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you are prepared with your answer. Now then, who was the one that moved the golden statue on the night of the crime?
Do I just say it was... Do I say it was Master Mask? Did I say it was Luke Atme? I mean,
It was him as Master Mask, but I think at this point I just say it was him because he moved it. Because, yeah, I think I finally remembered the gimmick with the picture. Took me an embarrassing long time, too. The one who moved the statue is none other than Luke Atme. Come now, Sir Lawyer. There you go again on one of your strange delusions.
Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions?
It's very simple. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night. That is indeed very simple. However, why would I want to move a heavy golden statue? The reason for moving the golden statue. Here's where our battle really begins.
Well, Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to move that statue?
The reason can be found here in this photograph. Look at me. You pretended to be Mask the Mask to create an alibi by showing that you were at Lordly Taylor that night. But this photograph contains a single fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would be exposed like cheap film at a drugstore. That is why you had to move the statue.
A single fatal flaw?
Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just where in this picture does this lie exist? Actually, is it the box? Because that's also a fake box. Or is it the fact that it's not a freaking... Dear God, film. That's something you'd have to explain to kids these days. I think it's this, right? Because I feel like that's what it is. The trick is you just did this on another day. Because he had 10 freaking days to do it. Naturally, the lie in this photo is the timestamp.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in question, Luke Atme went to KB Security and murdered Kane Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to have been at Lordly Taylor at this time.
But what does that have to do with the statue being moved?
Remember, if you will, Your Honor, when was this statue placed besides the warehouse door?
Well,
the statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime, and it was placed there in order to cover up the paint. Exactly. Luke Atme had already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim. And so, in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this picture days before the murder took place. What's the... Of course, the statue hadn't yet been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. So, on the day of the crime, Mr. Atme must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. I'm sorry, Phoenix, what? Why that simile? Like, I understand what you're getting at, but... Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down and placed where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Luke Atme had to move the statue on the night of the murder. He did it to make the room match with the way it had been in his photo.
Porter, Mr. Atme, is this true?
One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this?
What's that?
The data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera did indeed go off on the night of the crime. It's true that the camera had been set up by the Lordly Taylor staff. However, the program used to manage that data was yours. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data.
Porter, Mr. Godot, what is the meaning of this? Godot, my word without making me wait. Now put that coffee down.
My 11th cup? You... It's 9. Where are these phantom cups appearing, Godot? Explain. Stop being wrong about numbers. I have promised to drink no more than 17 during a trial, which means I'm still good till the last drop.
However, the defense has a very good point.
A good point? So what? We are all but travelers on a road of infinite points.
I think he's got his points mixed up with his other points.
So you say this photograph was taken ahead of time, and that the statue was moved in order to make it match? That's a very interesting idea. However, there's one point that can't be denied. Which is? He has drank that much since he had all his blood surgically replaced with coffee. That it's only a possibility. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams.
Well, that's very true.
No way. Don't fall for that, Your Honor. Mr. Demask. Yes? If there's no funny business in your actions as Mask Demask, there should be no problem with you telling us your strategy. So let's hear it.
Yes, please provide this court with your testimony about your plan to steal the sacred urn.
Oh boy. The Sacred Urn Heist. Maybe we should have taken a slight break earlier. I'm good though. This is what I made tea for. I first received the request from Lordly Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box in Zvari. It was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th.
That's pretty much all stuff we've heard before, isn't it?
Yeah, but we will find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave.
Witness, we're sure there are no mistakes this time.
Zvari.
Very well then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
So this one, I'm not sure how we were supposed to get there, but we know the trick here is because of when Adrian broke the urn and it got fixed. I first received the request from Lordly Taylor about 20 days ago. We were asked to guard the urn by Miss Adrian Andrews, is that right? Indeed, it seemed that they had heard of my sparkling reputation. I see Miss Andrews is still attracting the weirdos. You better watch out too, Maya. What? The urn was placed in a box in Zvari. It was then sent to the warehouse. You mean this box? Yes, that pathetic box. Lady Andrews was especially taken with that urn. Why do people call it a pathetic box? What are they seeing that I don't? Like, I mean, it doesn't seem like it's made out of like, the most high quality wood, but like, what the... Lady Andrews was especially taken with that urn, and she wouldn't let anyone enter the storeroom, not even me. Huh, interesting new tidbit. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. So you're sure that you had never seen the urn before? Indeed. You may ask Lady Andrews to confirm for yourself. My security was focused entirely on the entrance to that warehouse. However, look at me, let no information whatsoever slip through my fingers. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. You mean this calling card? That's right. That is, without a doubt, my calling card.
I guess Mr. Delight didn't make this after all.
Of course, because Atme knew about the emblem. Making this card authentic would have been child's play for him. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. Then no one entered the basement warehouse. Wow, I don't know. No one entered the basement warehouse? Unfortunately, there were many different treasures being taken there. Thus, for a period of approximately 5 days, people were indeed going in and out of the warehouse. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th. And this is the photo that proves that, huh? Indeed. To be honest, even if a photo was taken, I didn't think it would matter terribly much.
Hey, Nick. If this photo is a fake, Detective Atme might have stolen the urn whenever this was taken.
That's true. You know, he's been saying that he never saw the urn until that night. If we can prove that he's lying there, we can wrap this up and put a bow on it. We need to take a good hard look at the court record. Not a lot to go on, is there? The detective's been covering his tracks. There's only one thing we need to prove in this cross-examination. That he took this photo well before the actual night of the crime.
Alright then, how do we do that?
There's one thing that Atme stated very clearly. That he had never seen the urn before he stole it.
We need to prove that he's lying.
So, we have this. Kept out of sight, okay. Because we know the calling card says, take good care of the speckled urn, won't you? I just need to figure out what it wants me to... Till the day of the crime. Well, some card 10 days beforehand. Value? That's also something mentioned here too, right? See, it's interesting because I think we did the value beforehand, and none of these mention it. Okay, 10 days beforehand. Okay. So I think it's one of these two. I obviously don't rush out till the day of the crime. It was extreme value, so I send it my card 10 days beforehand. And I think it's gotta beat the urn itself, right? Because we know because of the urn, it was broken, repaired by Adrian 2 weeks ago and placed in its box, kept outside. Because it's not the value, it's the fact that the calling card he mentions it was being speckled. And it's not speckled in the picture they took. It was speckled after she fixed it. Okay, let's try here. No, damn it. Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence.
It does. I don't see anything contradictory.
Huh? Really?
Objection denied. Try to think before you make accusations, Mr. Wright.
Whoops, that didn't go so well. Okay. Day of the crime. Calling card. Okay. Well, if it's not the urn, it's gotta be the calling card then, right? So the calling card... Come in promo, take care of the speckled urn, won't you? Yours truly, Master Mask. See, this is a frustrating one, because I feel like it's not one piece of evidence, but it must not want the urn, though. First, see the urn. Urn was placed in the box of fire. It was then sent to the warehouse. And so I actually only see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. But it says speckled here. The third one, maybe? Which... calling card 10 days beforehand. Doesn't make sense to do the calling card here because we know it was 10. We're not disagreeing with that. Held the urn in my hands for the first time. Okay, maybe it is this one? Because if he knew it was speckled, he couldn't know that until he had it in his hands. Oh, thank God. I mean, I could have just... If I had gotten really damaged, I would have save scummed, but who wants to do that, you know? Mr. Atme, you really are Mask the Mask. And you also wrote this calling card, correct? But of course. Is there a problem with that calling card? Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Mask the Mask had written. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now, the speckled here... See, this is... I feel like I've probably been luckier earlier, so I haven't really commented on this. But this is when the game gets kind of frustrating, when you know what the solution is, but you need to arrive at it the way the game wants you to, because you can't just explain it to the game, right? But maybe I'm dumb and it was obvious to use... well. Now, the speckled here really refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn. Yes, that is true. But so what? Truth be told, there is no way that Mask the Mask could have known about this pattern. What do you mean? This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains. Paint stains? And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to the Woodley Tailor. I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Wright. Up to cups of coffee. The day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error, or should I say an error-prone human. Oh, come on, Phoenix, don't do Adrian like that. She does so much. She can be a little bit clumsy once or twice. She's only goddamn human. And that's when the pink paint got on the urn. Ugh, you can't be serious. And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Which means Detective Atme had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. Because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water. Ugh.
Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself?
Ugh. Alright, that did it. He's broken.
Nick, I think it's still a little early for a victory pose.
Oh. Ah, it's so sad. No one has any conviction these days. Oh, wow. Guess I muted in time to catch that sneeze. More coffee. Look at that. Get those at 12 already.
Conviction, you say?
Yesterday, we all decided unanimously that this man was Mask the Mask. And now we're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle?
That's a good point.
No way. Don't fall for that too, Your Honor. You say that Look at Me was the one who killed King Buddha. But then let me ask you this. Why would he do that? An excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright, motive. Might you my merry murderous motive manifest?
Nick, he's getting his second wind.
If he prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Ron Delight, as you say, he must have had a very strong motive for murder.
The only one with any motive we've seen is Ron Delight. Isn't that right, Detective? Indeed. According to my own research, the boy's motive is clear.
Without a motive, it's clearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us to what the defendant's motives were.
I'd be honored to, Sir Old-Timer. Doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance. Motive for murder. I, Look at Me, had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Kane Bullard decided to investigate Mask the Mask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delight. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he has masked the mask. That is why Mr. Delight saw it fit to kill King Bullard. Truly a tragedy.
So the victim, Kane Bullard, blackmailed the defendant?
This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. A handwriting test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter. What? Blackmail letter updated in the court record, found in Ron Delight's room, written by Bullard.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Begin your cross-examination.
So I think this is where he might have made his mistake. Yeah, if you don't, I'll take that red diamond you received the other day instead. And where we have the list of the stolen things. Tear of Emanon is a jewel. Oh, it doesn't say though. Ah, here we get to see that the precious gem of the Tear of Emanon is blue instead. I, Look at Me, had no... God damn it. I, Look at Me, had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. And who in the world is going to prove that? I will. After doing a thorough background check of Detective Atme and Ken Bullard, we were unable to find any links between them. It's all in the report.
Perhaps they were connected through their work. They were both involved in security.
Nope.
That was blunt.
In any case, the only one with a motive was Mr. Delight. Kane Bullard decided to investigate Mask the Mask and simply mistook who he was. Mistook? That's right, mistook, from the Old Norse mistaka, meaning to take an error.
That wasn't what I meant.
But who did the victim mistake Mask the Mask to be?
Why, the answer's obvious. Ron Delight, of course.
Boy, I'd like to wipe that smug look off this guy's face. Press harder? Why would the victim mistake the defendant for Mask the Mask?
Don't you already know that? Zvari, take a look at this newspaper.
Whoa, that's the famous Tear of Emanon, a magnificent jewel.
That photo shows a magnificent detective as well, does it not? Furthermore, it also shows an ugly guard, namely the defendant.
The defendant?
The victim clearly misread this article in Zvari. He got the wrong impression. The impression that this ugly security guard was in fact Mask the Mask.
I see.
That was an unusually reasonable deduction.
It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delight. You mean this blackmail letter right here?
It says bring $50,000.
And the handwriting is, without a doubt, the victim's. There's no mistake. We have an official report to prove it.
But I don't see an addressee on this letter anywhere.
An addressee? This letter was discovered in Ron Delight's apartment, and Mr. Delight did show up at the designated place and time. The fact that there is no addressee is irrelevant. I wonder.
What's up, Nick?
I just had a thought. What if that blackmail letter wasn't meant for Mr. Delight?
Whoa. Do you have any evidence of that?
For some reason, I just can't shake the feeling that there's something not quite right about this blackmail letter. Well, everyone, are you quite satisfied? And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. Okay. We'll get to it. Let's finish pressing everything. What do you mean by that? Oh my, I was certain you were already aware. Zvari.
KB Security has a lot of security info in all sorts of companies. And since I was a security team chief, I saw data from the company.
Kane Bullard had yet to forgive young Mr. Delight, which is why he sent him that letter upon mistakenly believing he was the thief. Here is a file that was discovered in Mr. Bullard's office. Evidence that Mr. Bullard was receiving money through blackmail.
However, isn't this a bit odd? Why did the defendant pay Mr. Bullard the money, even though he wasn't actually Mask the Mask?
On that point, there was an unfortunate bit of chance. Right, take a small tea break there. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he has Mask the Mask. Do you really think that story is going to hold up? That assertion is not merely my own, I'm afraid. What do you mean? I have here a memo from Ron Delight's wife, Desiree Delight. Oh, why? Ronnie thinks he has Mask the Mask. Don't you feel sorry for him? Please don't think too badly of him. No, I don't need best viewers. I was just killing myself to try to do a voice as another voice. Ah, well, Mr. Tried. Ugh. Was he trying to act like Mr. Light just now? I thought he was actually pretty convincing. You and no one else, Maya. That is why Mr. Delight saw it fit to kill Kane Bullard. Truly a tragedy. Now that's just your imagination talking. Come now, Sir Lawyer. I'm afraid imagination isn't the right word for it. This is a deduction, the result of carefully applied reasoning.
Can we hear that careful reasoning for ourselves?
Oh, apologies. It's a long story, and better save for another time.
Very well, another time.
Those so-called long stories aren't usually all that long. At least, not in my experience.
So you're going to try to connect Detective Atney with Mr. Bullard, right?
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully it won't require surgery either.
In that case, you'll have to talk about the blackmail.
That's true. Was that blackmail letter really intended for Ron?
Since we don't have enough information, we should press him for more testimony.
Maybe I'll be able to shake some contradictions loose that way. Okay, I think the trick here now is because I've pressed... I think it's one of these two again. King Bullard decided to investigate Master Mask and simply mistook who he was. Mistook? That's right, mistook. From the Old Norse mistaka, meaning to take an error. That wasn't what I meant.
But who did the victim mistake Master Mask to be?
Why, the answer is obvious. Rhonda Light, of course. Boy, I'd like to whip that smug look off this guy's face. Press harder. Why would the victim mistake the defendant for Master Mask? Don't you already know that? Zvari, take a look at this newspaper.
Oh, that's the famous Tyramnon, a magnificent jewel.
That photo shows a magnificent detective as well, does it not? Furthermore, it also shows an ugly guard, namely the defendant.
But the defendant?
The victim clearly misread this article, and Zvari, he got the wrong impression. The impression that this ugly security guard was in fact Master Mask.
I see.
That was an unusually reasonable deduction.
God, okay, is it this one then? Okay. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Rhonda Light. Man, I'm just bad at this case, I guess. I mean, this blackmail letter right here,
Which has $50,000.
and the handwriting is without a doubt the victim's. There's no mistake. We have an official report to prove it.
But I don't see an addressee of this letter anywhere.
An addressee? This letter was discovered in Rhonda Light's apartment on Mr. Delight to show up at the designated place and time. The fact that there is no addressee is irrelevant. I wonder.
What's up, Nick?
I just had a thought. What if that blackmail letter wasn't meant for Mr. Delight?
Whoa. Do you have any evidence of that?
For some reason, I just can't shake the feeling that there's something not quite right about this blackmail letter. Well, everyone, are you quite satisfied? Guys, I just need to present something instead. Could it be this one instead? Probably not. I, Lucat, me had no point of contact with the victim whatsoever. And who in the world is going to prove that? I will. After doing a thorough background check of Detective Atme and King Bullard, we were unable to find any links between them. It is all in the report.
Perhaps they were connected to their work. They were both involved in security.
Nope.
That was blunt.
In any case, the only one with a motive was Mr. Delight. I don't think it's these. Okay, let's just... I'll speedrun these real quick. I don't think this is going to be a multiple press scenario. I think I just need to present evidence now, but... It was again Mr. Bullard, blah, blah, blah. What do you mean by that? Oh my, I was certain you were already aware. Sorry.
KB Security has a lot of security about all sorts of companies. And since I was a security team chief, I stole data from the company.
King Bullard had yet to forgive young Mr. Delight, which is why he sent him that letter upon mistakenly believing he was the thief. There is a file that we discovered at Mr. Bullard's office, evidence, and Mr. Bullard was using money to blackmail.
However, Mr. doesn't bit odd. Why did the defendant pay Mr. Bullard the money, though he wasn't really actually Master Mask?
On that point, there was an unfortunate bit of chance. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Master Mask. Do you really think that story is going to hold up? That assertion is not really my own, I'm afraid. What do you mean? I have a memo from Andre's wife, Desiree Delight. Oh shit, this means I have to add another coffee that I shouldn't have added too. That's fine, we're catching up here anyways.
Bonnie thinks he's Master Mask, don't you feel sorry for him? Please don't think too badly of him.
Oh god. Oof. Ah, well, Mr. Tried. Ugh. Was he trying to act like Mr. Light just now?
I thought he was actually pretty convincing.
That is why Mr. Delight saw his physical being blood, truly a tragedy. That's just your imagination talking. Calm down, sir lawyer. I'm afraid imagination is the right word for it. This is a deduction, the result of carefully applied reasoning.
Can we hear that carefully reasoning for ourselves?
It's a long story, and better save for another time.
Very well, another time.
Those so-called long stories aren't usually that long, at least not my experience. Okay. Alright, I think it's this one. And it's... I guess it's gotta be the blackmail letter? Written by Bullard? It's gotta be the red diamond, right? Okay. Man. I feel like it keeps expecting me to present evidence in ways where I have to make a logical leap for the game. Which I don't mind. It's like I figured it out, right? It's the freaking tear, and he's wearing the freaking diamond on his hand. But I don't know. I wish they would give me a little bit more setup for it so I could be more confident. Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Atme? I guess I will say the advantage of this is this does make Phoenix seem more competent because there's this middle step that the game is going to do after we do it. It kind of shows Phoenix is already like, he's a little bit step further where he doesn't need to be spoon-fed every step now. It's still kind of undone by him acting as a guru in different parts, but... Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Atme? Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's alright. You said that this letter was addressed to Ron Delight. I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction. Oh, okay, that's why. That's fair. Contradiction? I don't know a walking contradiction, like you gets off saying things like that. Oh yeah, you know what, that's a fair point actually. You're one to talk. At times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you've got there, Junior?
My lady, turn the man up, Mr. Wright. Show us the contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter.
Sure. It is... Where's the newspaper clipping? Yeah. Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the Tear of Emanon, the stolen jewel.
What about it?
The problem is this jewel's color. Color? I'm not much for discussing color myself. According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day.
Well, red?
Which means, the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the Tear of Emanon that Master Mask stole at all. And your point is, Mr. Wright? So you are saying... God damn, come on, me. So you are trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else? That is what you're trying to say, right? Right?
That is what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Wright?
Well, that is what you're trying to say, right, Nick?
Yes. Thanks, everyone, for repeating it. This is who Kane Bullard was actually blackmailing. Oh, it's freaking Luke at me again. Naturally, it was you, Detective Atme. Do you have some sort of basis for that claim? I wonder if it's it was Pearl. You've been personally involved in every single Mask the Mask case. He was blackmailing Pearl. And in the last case, you recovered what was stolen and received the jewel as your reward. A jewel? Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. That red diamond ring. That is the diamond referred to in the letter, which means that Kane Bullard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you. Ah.
Order. Order in the court. Order, I say.
Ooh. Now, I do feel a bit bad because he's up to 15 cups of coffee, but unfortunately, one of these was an extra one that I made because I pressed every single one again. That was kind of dumb of me too, because he even says like, oh, he addressed it to Ron, and it mentions here it doesn't address it to... No, sorry, not this one. This one. Doesn't address it to anyone. That was dumb of me. It seems you've gone too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Triad. Uh-oh. I don't like the way he said that.
King Bullard blackmailing Luke at me? Are you for real?
Yes, I am for real.
Nick, come on, stand up to him. Then answer me this. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. If you don't want your identity revealed to the world,
Yes, it certainly does.
King Bullard threatened to make Luke at me's identity public knowledge. An identity he wanted to keep a secret, so just what was that identity? Atme killed King Bullard because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. What was the identity he wanted to keep secret? This is what it all comes down to, Nick. The identity that Luke Atme wanted to so desperately keep secret was his identity as Detective, Masked Mask, Blackmailer. Do we have... Yes. Whose thing is directed by Blackmail Letters. Okay. Luke Atme was a blackmailer. Hey now, isn't that a little different from what you've been saying? God, this is why doing a French accent was a mistake. You said that Ken Bullard was the one blackmailing Luke Atme. Are you saying that Atme was blackmailing someone else on top of that? Hug, you have to admit, that does sound a little odd. It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Ken Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atme. But Ron the Light was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. You know, I feel like I don't have a lot of hard voices in this case. For some reason, I'm just having a hard time keeping up. So, did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident?
Yes, just a few days after the Tears of Emanon heist. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. I received plans from some very kind person. Incredibly detailed plans.
Detailed plans? In which case, that would mean that Ron Delight was actually Mask the Mask.
That is what we are claiming.
Someone else came up with the plans and had Mr. Delight steal his targets for him. And that someone was none other than Luke Atme.
Shh! Silence! Now I see.
It's all becoming clear.
What is?
When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Careless, with a tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong? How did you... God damn it, Phoenix. You say that I, Luke Atme, was blackmailing Ron Delight. In which case, I would naturally know all about his relation to Mask the Mask.
Well, yes.
Ron Delight started receiving plans from his second crime onward, correct? Which means I learned of his identity when he committed that first crime.
Good point. You certainly couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise.
Get those on his 16th cup of coffee. In that case, let's see some haute bitter evidence. During the first crime, how did Luke Atme know that Ron Delight was Mask the Mask?
Toss some clothing. Or do I just do the newspaper? I mean, it's right here, right? I already used this. I mean, he's right there. It's gotta be this. Oh, thank God. Sometimes it's easy. I think I see it.
See what?
When you were in grade school, You see the same report card every year. Gets into lots of mischief trying to be the center of attention. What do you mean? His newspaper clipping. Has a picture of you and Ron DeLite in his guard uniform. Seems that Master Mask didn't just disappear into thin air. He just took off his outfit and hid it in a bucket.
That sounds far too stupid to be true.
Correct. With tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. And that's when you figured it out, Mr. Atme. That's when you learned that under his mask, the Mask, was really Ron DeLite. What the? Wasn't he supposed to be Master Mask?
None of that. Looks like he wasn't even an ace detective. I can't believe it. He was just a slimy blackmailer.
What a fraud! Trying to pass himself off as an ace detective.
Why you? How dare you expose me like that? Why, I mean, I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I'm a famous and proud ace detective, and also Mask the Mask. Why can't you understand that? I'm afraid you are neither a proud thief, nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That is your true identity. Why you? How dare you even dare want to ever follow such a Louis desk? Why try to do something yourselves with those big mouths of yours? You're fools, fools! I say, then you can complain to my genius. You're just jealous. So go on, disagree with me, commemorate me. There's nothing the great detective cannot handle. Blackmail, murder threats. I'll get away with all of it. Oh, it's enough to make one laugh. Please, game, don't do that.
It would seem we finally arrived at the real answer.
That was quite a performance by Mr. Atme.
My love, please prepare yourself for Mr. Acme.
Godot, why? Why are you this way, Godot? Also, count your cups of coffee. You have now lost.
The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim.
What do you mean? I'm already prepared to deliver my ruling.
Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge. You don't get much more in your face than that. It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Wright.
What are you?
It is true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Luke Atme was a filthy blackmailer, and that he wasn't at Lordly Taylor's the night of the murder.
That's right. That's why he's the one who killed Mr. Bull.
But there's still one thing you have yet to prove.
What's that?
Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse for a man was at KB security, then I don't see how a verdict can be delivered.
No way.
Order in the court. Well, Mr. Wright?
So, this is it. This is the final round. Gotta prove that Atme was at Mr. Bullard's office on that night.
What? Can you really prove that?
That's long enough. Mr. Wright, I want to hear your answer. That night, Atme was at KB Security, and the defense... This is one of those times when I have to say can't prove it, right? I don't think we have something for this right now. Mind you, I don't think this is a choice, because I think if I say can prove it, it'll be like, no, you can't. Or if I can prove it, and I say can't prove it, it's like, no, wait, Phoenix, you can't. You have to, oh, fine. We can prove it. Totally, right, Phoenix? Defense can prove it. With evidence.
Are you sure?
Ah, don't you worry, I'll watch over you as you break down and fall to pieces.
Very well then. Let's see that's proof.
Uh-oh.
Proof that Luke Acme was at KB Security that night.
Okay, no. I don't think we have it. Damn. It wouldn't be that. Punch him to the head. Mask's brooch was over there. No, I messed up here, I think. Yeah, he was supposed to not say not. Okay. It's the Shichishito. This is the proof.
It's true. That is very important. However, I'm not so foolish as to think that we'll pass for evidence here.
Mr. Wright, it's time you learn the true flavor of life. The flavor of my special Godot Blend 49.
Well, Mr. Wright?
Alright. In Godot's defense, he didn't have that extra cup of coffee. He just threw it at Phoenix. It's bitter. Very bitter.
Come on, Nick. Don't give up now.
What do I do? Make a mistake here. It's over. Phoenix's 3rd-degree burns. Okay. I can't prove it.
Just as I thought.
But if we hear more of Detective Atmey's testimony... Unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Wright. What do you mean?
I won't allow for any more testimony. That's what I mean.
What?
Have you forgotten? Look at me is here after we interrupted his own trial, and you have failed to prove that he committed the murder.
Okay. But also, we've proven that he's not really Mask the Mask. Well, that's not true. But we've proven that there wasn't a crime that night. Whatever.
I think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial and face his guilty verdict as Mask the Mask.
No. Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all.
What?
I am the ace detective as well as Mask the Mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as Ron the Lights will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness.
Order in the court. Not enough deliberation over this witness.
Can't believe this. At this rate, Ron is...
Don't give up now, Nick. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence and...
By then, it'll be too late.
Huh? Well, why?
Double jeopardy, one of the basic rules of any court of law.
Double jeopardy?
Should a defendant be tried and found innocent in court, a defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. This is a fundamental rule of all courts. And it applies to this witness as much as it applies to anyone else.
Mr. Atmey will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty as Mask the Mask, which means...
He will be innocent as far as the murder of Kane Bullard is concerned.
No way.
The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. Atmey's guilt of that crime here means that he will never again be tried as Kane Bullard's murderer.
That is, in fact, not how any of this works. Oh. Oh, but look, we have a moment of despair now. Things will have come now. Now there's nothing I can possibly do to win. Even if Ron is proclaimed to be innocent, the real killer, Luke Atmey, will go free.
You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today, and as long as there is no more testimony, I'm afraid I have to declare that there will be no further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections? I hereby end the cross-examination of Luke Atme.
Was that? I think I see it. Your Honor, when you were a child, this is what was on your report card every year. Has poor hearing and often makes mistakes as a result.
How did you...
Phoenix, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to tell you? A lawyer is someone who smiles, no matter how bad it gets. That voice! No way! Hey! Deus ex machina. Long time no see, Phoenix. Ooba! That too. Mia! This is the true power of the Korean channeling technique. I know that it's really Maya who's standing before me, but right now, she's my mentor, Mia Fey. Now, let's do this. But there's nothing more we can do, Mia. Without any more testimony, I can't cross-examine. Not yet. Testimony's not over yet. What do you mean? Your Honor, just now you said something very interesting.
You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. That's true, but...
Unfortunately, Your Honor, you're forgetting something. Earlier, after the last cross-examination, this witness made a number of remarks. Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective as well as Mask the Mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as Rhonda Lights will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness.
Yes, but these comments appear to have no importance whatsoever.
Very well. Then we shall prove their importance via cross-examination. At any rate, as long as the witness has made these remarks, we, the defense, assert our right to question them. Is that all right with you, prosecutor?
Is something the matter, Mr. Godot?
Nothing. Oh, Sir Lawyer, looks like you're one step too late. If you think such falsehoods will do anything to me, look at... Let's hear it. Huh? It's true that the witness made some remarks. So then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination. Mr. Doe, what are you?
Very well then, Mr. Mukatme. I'm going to allow the defense to cross-examine your earlier remarks.
The defense would like to hear why you declared the defendant to be the true murderer.
So please, give us one last bit of testimony.
Phoenix, this is it. This is our absolute last chance. Yes, Chief. The last testimony. Indeed, it is true that I was not at Lordly Taylor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was Rhonda Light. And thanks to the keycard and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. Delight was wearing his Mask the Mask outfit, which is why he left no prints. And the blackmail letter? The victim likely just mistook the color of the jewel. Zwei. Therefore, all the evidence points to that poor boy. This testimony actually seems to hold up pretty well.
But witnesses' earlier remarks do not appear to have been hastily prepared. All of his points have been explained, and none of them seem to contradict anything.
But of course.
But how did you know about the emergency buzzer?
The police investigation documents went directly through me. They always look over all the documents. It's elementary, Sir Lawyer. Are you going to make even more trouble for us now, Sir Lawyer?
I will not allow any of your usual shenanigans, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
We cannot postpone Lugatmi's trial any longer. This is your last chance.
Hang on a sec. Just one chance? Ah, it seems that the party is about to begin. Well, Phoenix, there isn't any evidence that contradicts with that testimony. So it would seem. What do you mean, so it would seem? Listen, Phoenix, pointing out contradictions doesn't always mean you have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, this is our last chance. You can't point out a case-breaking contradiction. You lose. That's all there is to it. Cop number 17 is the last cop. It seems like the time has come to put an end to this trial. Okay, Godot? Dog, you were at 19. You had 2 extra ones. I gave you an extra one because I did something sooner. I have to find a fatal contradiction in this testimony, and you need to point it out without presenting evidence. Which means all I can do is find the contradictory remark and press it. Remember, you only get one chance.
Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your final cross-examination.
The last testimony. Okay. Let's save. Because I think it says one chance, right? I think that means I need to pick the right one. Indeed, it is true that I was not at Lordly Taylor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was Ron Delight. Thanks to the keycard and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. Also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. But not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. So he was wearing his mask to mask outfit, which is why I left no prints. Blackmail letter, the victim necessarily just mistook the color of the jewel. Sorry, if all the evidence points to that poor boy. Cross-examination is the only chance I have to nail him. Somewhere there's a huge contradiction, and I've got to find it. As far as I can see, there is no evidence that contradicts his testimony. All you can do is press him. You only get one shot. Okay. It's not this one for sure. I doubt it's this one either. Was he ready to photograph? True culprit was Ron Delight. Thanks to the keycard and wallet, it's abundantly clear that he was there. Okay, so around 1 a.m. night of the crime. Who showed up the night of the crime at 1 a.m. I was able to make the detection from the buzzer, which only sounded once. I think that fits with that. No fingerprints. But didn't have any fingerprints on it. Why? Or left prints which sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. His light was wearing his mask outfit, which was why I left no prints. Like my letter, let's just took the color of the jewel. Sorry for all the evidence points to that poor boy. Okay. I think this is it. Because I'll say redemption the other day instead. Bring $50,000. True identity revealed. So, when we had... I saved, right? I think I did. Yeah, I did, okay. The only thing I can think of is everything he's presented has been based on stuff that he would have evidence to or he could have set up. But he didn't set up that Ron would come as Mask the Mask. And he couldn't have set it up ahead of time because he didn't say that. So he only knows that because he had to see him, because he wasn't... Because we established, but we revealed that. No one knew that. It's gotta be this one. Mr. Atme, about this last remark. Ooh. Ah, that might be wrong. That's fine. You still don't get it? Do you try? This isn't the time to be pressing the witness on every little statement. I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Godot. What? Mr. Atme, it seems you have finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder. How can you say that? Let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. Atme? The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit. Is that correct? Indeed. That's what I said. My deductions are absolutely foolproof. More like your deductions prove that you're a fool. I'm sorry, whatever do you mean? For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty. When exactly did we learn the fact that Ron Delight was dressed as Master Mask when he went to the scene of the crime? Okay, thank God.
That was,
It was just a few hours ago. Back when my sixth cup was looking at me with a cold stare.
Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now.
See, I should have known because everyone took heavy psychic damage, which is how they're like, remember this for later. That's right. The defendant had yet to tell anyone else this fact before this morning. Therefore, the only people who should know this are those who have been watching this trial. Do you understand now, Detective Atme? There is no way that you should have known about that. You were in the next courtroom, being tried as Mask the Mask. So then enlighten us. Just how did you know about that piece of information? Well... Come on, this detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand. It's those chances that I want to discuss next. That night, Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit. There is one, and only one way, for Detective Atme to have found that out. Only one? One way, you say? Please recall, if you will, Mr. Delight's testimony.
When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there.
For a second, my client witnessed the real killer. But Mr. Delight never saw his attacker. So there's no way to tell whether or not the serial killer was Luke Atme. It's with that statement that I'll turn this case on its head. Just what are you implying? Mr. Delight saw the real killer, correct? Now, if you turn that statement around, it stands to reason that the real killer had also seen Ron Delight. Impossible. Well, no, possible. Impossible? I don't know. Detective Atme, you saw Mask the Mask at the murder scene that night. You saw him when you killed Kane Bullard and assaulted Ron DeLight. That was the only way you could have known what Ron was wearing. Ooh. Take a good look, everyone. It's an earthquake. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown.
That's the same line you gave yesterday.
But I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time.
What an awfully complicated incident. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atme, was in return blackmailing Ron DeLight, but upon killing his blackmailer, Luke Atme tried to frame Ron DeLight. He then claimed to be guilty as Mask the Mask in order to escape his true crime.
And to that end, he came up with this plan to use the double jeopardy rule in making his alibi.
At any rate, it would seem we finally found the truth.
Excuse me.
I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man, besmirching him with the title of murderer.
Don't ignore me.
Oh, I didn't realize you were there.
Why wouldn't he be?
About the verdict?
I know. You never committed any murder.
That's right. I'm so glad you understand that, but I really am Mask the Mask.
Huh?
So, thanks to that trial yesterday, I'm innocent now, right? What was it you said? Double jeopardy?
Now that you mention it.
I've been careless. Careless? What do you think, Mia? As the defendant says, the rule of absolute jeopardy is absolute. A defendant can never be tried twice for a crime in which he was once found innocent. Then, Mask the Mask is really innocent? It would seem so. For now. For now?
Now then, this court finds the defendant not guilty. Hit the confetti.
Boy, this is really lucky. Waiter, this isn't so good after all. You see, the thing is, I still am Mask the Mask after all.
October 14th, 3:35 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 4. You did it, Phoenix. Thanks, Mia. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Yeah. It's because Maya doesn't call on me much these days. Oh? I'm just joking, Phoenix. Don't take everything so seriously. But on the other hand, Maya, she seems kind of torn these days. You mean about becoming the master of the Crane Channeling School? Becoming the master means saying goodbye to her mother. Misty Faye, right? Watch over her, will you, Phoenix? Don't. For the love of God. Stay away from her for 7 goddamn years in an intricate gambit to prove the guilt of one man, so that you can instead adopt her as a homeless person. Of course. Well then, see you around. Mia.
Mr. Wright, I don't know what to say.
Oh, sorry. I think I swallowed right into the mic. My apologies. Congratulations, Mr. Delight.
Thank you so much. No, wait. Nothing really matters anymore, though, now that all of this has happened.
Come on, just be happy already.
Maya.
You've been cleared of the murder charges and got off as Mask the Mask to boot.
But, in exchange, I lost everything.
Huh? What do you mean?
Stealing security information from KB Security, becoming Mask to Mask. I did it all for one reason. For her.
Do it for her. You mean your wife, Desiree?
She hates criminals more than anything.
Come to think of it, she was once held hostage by some robbers, wasn't she? There's no, Phoenix did not take me as hint because he's an idiot. Yeah.
She always said how she hated sneaky criminals. I knew that, but once I got fired from KB Security and lost all the money I had, she wouldn't have any reason to stay with me. I thought she would leave me for sure.
So that's why you became Mask the Mask?
Yes, but it's all over now. A broken bowl can never be put back together.
That's not true.
Right, Nick? Right.
Really? Can we go back to the way things were?
You'll be fine, and Nick can prove it.
I can? I wish you would check with me first. Mr. Delight, even if a bowl is broken, there's always a way to put it back together. Are you kidding me?
I think my marriage is gonna fail because my wife has a spending habit she won't break and I can't afford to pay her now.
Hey man, you see this broken sacred urn? It's been broken twice and it got put together. The first time was messed up, but the second time it's back to that and it's a speckled urn now. That's so stupid. I love this game.
The sacred urn. Desi was the one who found this.
Oh, that's true. She did find that. Okay. Desiree, your wife, she always believed in you, Ron. I mean, now she knows the truth that you're a dirty thief, but, you know, that's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything.
Ah, there you are.
Miss Delight?
You did it, Ronnie. You're innocent. I'm so happy. Thank you. I appreciate that, but, I suppose you don't want anything more to do with me, do you? Ronnie, why didn't you talk to me about what was going on? I had no idea you'd quit KB Security. I never imagined that you were really Master Mask either.
Mr. Light, what are you going to do now that you know? You're not going to really leave him, are you?
Come on, it's obvious, isn't it? How could I ever let a wonderful man like him get away? After all, my bike's really fast. So fast that there's no way he could ever get away.
But didn't you say that you hated criminals?
Oh, I only hate people who act all cowardly and sneaky. Isn't like that detective.
I see.
My Ronnie went and declared his crimes before he committed them. Like a man.
I need an adult. I mean, she is an adult, Dirth. As is he.
I just love a man who's so chivalrous.
Chivalrous?
I knew I was right about you. Every day I spend with you is filled with thrills and excitement. Desi.
I need a better adult. Desiree, you really do love Ron, don't you?
Nicky boy.
Yes?
I'm really glad I asked you to defend my Ronnie. Thank you so much. I'll never forget what you've done for us.
Oh, well, take care of yourself.
You too, Nicky boy.
Ooh, I can feel my face going red. God.
Mr. Nick, Mystic Maya, congratulations.
Talk about bad timing.
Mr. Nick, how could you, with another man's wife, in front of Mystic Maya? No, I'll never forgive you. Never, ever.
That was Phoenix going, no, 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 but I cannot switch between Pearl and Phoenix that quickly. So just as the case came to a close, so too did my consciousness. Ron said a broken bowl can never be put back together. But I know that's not true. I mean, just look. Aww. Here's a perfect example of one that was put back together even better than before. Aw, that's cute. Look at how happy they are to get their urn back, though. Episode 2, The Stolen Turnabout, the end. Oh my god. Maya looks so cute in that maid. I forgot I forgot that they did that because, okay. A brand new episode has been added. Recipe returned about. Okay. Well, I got through that. Barely. Thank God, I'm pretty sure they they have to refill your case because cases are made individually. Recipe for turnabout. It's not a great case. I don't remember it terribly well, but it's got a poor reputation. And a big part of that is it might be the single dumbest way a case begins. But we'll get to that next time. For now, it's almost time anyways. That actually worked out pretty perfectly. Like, if I started more on time, we'd be ending a little bit early, but because I started really late, we're back on time. Thanks for hanging out with me. Good night. Next time, I guess we'll see how stupid this can get. It's not as bad as the goddamn circus, at least. Small favors.